I managed to jack up the skid steer and get the tyres off it, or the rims off. They were on tight too, but a bit of leverage, good breaker bar, and I was able to crack those nuts and get them off. This is the machine without its shoes on. Bit sketchy, but I was just able to use the hydraulics to basically block up under here, lift the machine up, which then lifted the back wheels off, and I put those under just as an additional safety. So it's actually sitting on them, but the bucket's there just in case. Maximum pressure is 65 psi, and there are 12 16.5 NHS or a 305 70 16.5. They're a Camso brand, SKS 753. So I'm expecting big things from these. Very aggressive tread pattern, and I paid for it. I think I paid an extra $100 a tyre for this compared to the normal ones. And I'm just going to stand one up against the other with the old ones and just see how much difference in height we've got. Admittedly, this is inflated and that's not, but at the end of the day with these tyres that doesn't really change too much. So we'll do that and see. So look at the difference in height in those two. That is substantial. It's like I've given it a 2-inch lift without doing anything. Well, I'm huffing and puffing from pushing those up the hill, but they're here ready to go on. I'll just clean up around all this area that you can't get to once the rims are on, and I'll get to work. Alright, so that's the first one on finger tight, and I like to try and get them all on by finger because you just feel any galling or any dramas, cross-threading. This one here is just a bit tight, and I think it's because there's a bit of a scratch on that stud, but the others are on pretty well. Just finger tight at the moment, so I'll do the same to all the rest. Then I'll come by with my tools and slowly but surely tighten them all up so they're really nice and flush on the rims. Cleaned them up and put some Lanox on there, so that's a lanolin based lubricant. Sort of penetrates into the metal, helps prevent rust, which will make it a lot easier to get them off next time. So there we have it. I've just got to nip up all the nuts and then take it off the jacks, and we'll see how we go. There's only a little bit of clearance between the bucket here, but I don't suppose you need too much. It'll just be interesting to see when I put the bucket into its normal configuration, just how closely, or how close it gets to those tyres. It doesn't really matter. I mean, a miss is as good as a mile as long as it's not touching on them. So regarding the clearance at the front, it's fine. I've checked it with my pallet forks and my stump bucket, which I'll do a review on one day once I've used it, and the 4-in-1 bucket, and they all clear really well. So I've got to say, at the moment I've only used them for a little bit, but I'm pretty impressed with their grip and capability. And I was really impressed with the guys at Bearcat Tyres up at Launceston who fitted them for me when I took them up in my ute. It was done within a couple of hours. And Richard up there, he was fantastic when I was talking about different tyres. And we're still in discussions as to maybe fitting some over tyre tracks, but it's a big expense, and it probably for this machine will involve different size rims, tyres, spacers, and then the tracks. So that's a big expense that I'm not really willing to put into it. Thanks very much for watching Down Under Projects, guys. I hope this was of some interest to you. All the best.